Hello, and welcome to Digital Prep Guidance and Support for New Pet Owners. This is a mock case study by Humane Canada. Problem statement is, how might we reduce the number of pets being surrendered to shelters? So Humane Canada is Canada's National Federation for Humane Societies and Societies for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So there's a crisis in the Canadian pet industry. The number of pets that we now have in households is at least 60% of Canadian households. And there's a Canadian veterinary shortage. Every year, more vets retire than graduate. So you got more pets, less vets. This has been happening since the pandemic and is a serious issue. Also, Canadian animal shelters are full, and as more pets are being surrendered than before, and this is another problem that isn't stopping. So Humane Canada has common reasons for pet surrender, says they record every reason for pet surrender that they get are things like housing issues, financial constraints. But what they found is that when they did a little deeper analysis, that underlying a lot of these surrenders for these problems is our underlying educational gaps that ended up with these surrenders. So the key insight there is a lot of these are preventable through education, early intervention, and supportive policies. So our interviews with different stakeholders produced these insights. Vets said the first 90 days set the foundation for the pet owner journey. Pet owners said lack of information is an issue at all stages of a pet's life. And new pet owners said they want information and guidance, they value knowledge, and want to do a great job for caring for their new pet. So this is our persona, Sylvia. She's a 25-year-old data science instructor. She's a tech-savvy new pet owner and kind of an extreme user because she has goals to build knowledge and routine for responsible pet care. That's one of her big goals, and to balance pet care with a busy schedule. Her concerns are the high cost of vet care and worried about managing pets' needs. So here's a journey map that we created. This is kind of like a current state. And this isn't the case, obviously, with all pet ownership, but it is a challenge that can lead to when there's surrenders, this is the way it can go. So at each of these stages, adoption and exploration and readiness, breed matching, decision-making, pre-adoption preparation, adoption first weeks, and learning, training, and routine building. Each of those stages, there's challenges. And those challenges are due to that lack of information and guidance. So you can really start to feel overwhelmed and uncertain and unprepared and overwhelmed. And the overwhelm is the scale here. And so as you can see, as the journey goes on, it becomes less confident over time, and that leads to a higher surrender risk. So our revised problem statement is, how might we prepare, guide, and support new pet owners so they can live their best life with their pets? Our solution is a marketing campaign, an assessment app, and an AI chatbot. So our Think Twice campaign could look like this, with a tagline of "Bone up on pet ownership before you take the leap," and it's in partnership with the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association. So this is all about having people understand the commitment they're making, understand the cost and the time and energy, and providing that education they need in order to make the right decisions. So here is an assessment app we developed that we're going to encourage people to take. And so they take that rating assessment, and here, how many hours per day? I can do 2 to 4 hours. And I have an apartment with a balcony. I can do $50 to $100. And I've never had a pet. And I think there's going to be major changes soon. And I have some savings available. And so now it says consider fostering first. I'm not quite ready. Their recommendation is not to adopt a pet yet. So now it talks to me about the fostering program. And the goal here would be to try to work me through fostering up to being able to adopt a pet over time. And so here, so you can get into the foster system, apply to foster these pets. Now, interesting, also, if I pass, then I go into the adoption app. Okay. So now the second one is our pet parent guide. And I really like this one because it's a really good tool. So this is from the objective of a professional pet behaviorist, and veterinary experts who's a lot of expertise with dogs. And so here's an example of one. Here's a husky trying to decide between getting a husky pup versus a German Shepherd pup. And here we go. So it's not a substitute for regular veterinary checkups or physical exams. And here, so you can see, so it's not trying to be a veterinary. And here, what do you do? So it talks about Siberian Husky first and what they're like. and common good fit, struggles, and same thing with shepherds. And then you can see this side by side snapshot, and you can see that they're much different than you actually would think they would be because you don't know any better, and it will help you decide on what you're going to do. Another one is another example would be as a new pet owner, I'm really nervous and excited, which I do before or after I get the pup. How do I know a bulldog is a good match? Bulldog pup is a good match. So here we go. And it will go into that 90 days. And so here, does Bulldog fit my life energy and expectations? And it tells you what are the goods and the bads. And then it tells you all about Bulldog. So it's a very comprehensive information that talks about preparing your home and things like that. So lots and lots of good information that you can see. Very, very good. All right. So now our new journey looks like this, where we have the same steps, but now we have, because of the pet parent guide and the assessment app, we have all along the way out, we have supports, and you can just see the positive outcomes here, and you can see the confidence rise to the point where you're less overwhelmed at the end. So what are the benefits? For new pet owners, there's a pet ownership assessment to help you and an AI chatbot for trusted guidance and support. For veterinarians, knowledgeable and responsible owners will be better customers with healthier pets. And the new partnership of Canadian Veterinary Medical Association, Humane Canada, and regional vet colleges forms a stronger ecosystem. And we, Humane Canada, partner with Vet Association and vet colleges for solution expertise because we have common goals. Vets introduce our campaign and tools to new pet owners and reduce pets in shelters to better informed pet owners. How is it innovative? Well, it's an AI chatbot for trusted advice and guidance during the pet parent journey, trained by industry experts. All right. So now, are there any questions? All right, so let's talk about pitch prep. So your pitch, how do I tell a compelling story? So first thing you want to do is you want to think about what's your pitch? What are you trying to get across? How do you tell a compelling story? So in our story, in the case of the pet industry one, is that there's a real serious issue in the pet industry with shortage of vets and a lot of pets being returned to shelters, primarily caused started by the snowball started rolling downhill because of the pandemic, but it's actually still rolling down the hill. So you want to tell a story and have a hook. So our hook is, feeling sorry for pet owners and vets, and there's a lot of people that are struggling here. So that's kind of, so why? Because we need to solve that problem for everyone. And it's, of course, Humane Canada's mandate to solve that problem. So then content, we talk about the problem. The persona is Sylvia, of course, and we only give as much as needed for Sylvia. And the solution, why does it matter? Because, there's serious issues happening here and they're not resolving themselves. And how are we solving it? We're solving it through really a mixture of information campaign and then some technology tools to support it. And we did do some testing and we did iterate and enhance the prototype. We originally just put an assessment app out and it would have a discussion, but now we've linked it to the foster and adoption apps. What's unique and innovative about it, that it's the partnership and the technology together. And I think the deck looks pretty good. I think I tried to keep it simple. There's a couple slides that are pretty complicated, but in design thinking, you end up with sometimes with some complex images like the customer journey. But I mean, it really says a lot, a customer journey map, because it does tell you the experience they're going to go through. And here's the template. So you go through, introduce your team very quickly, talk about your problem for a couple minutes, the company challenge statement, who's the customer, how did you reframe the problem statement, why did you do that? What did you find out that made you do that? What insights? Why is it an important problem to solve? And then our solution. What's our solution? Show the demo, hit the major features. Don't do things like logging and stuff like that. Just hit the major features. And did you iterate and enhance the solution like we did with the linking the three apps together? How's it solve the problem? What's the impact and value to the business? In our case, we have a serious issue in that our shelters are really full and people are unhappy and we're having, vets are under pressure. So, we're trying to find ways to solve things. And I think that's the solving it is we realize that if we can give better information to people, then make better decisions. especially in those early days, then they can have a better life with their pet and not be returning to pets to shelters. That's simple as that. Did you consider sustainability? Well, sustainability in this perspective is we're trying to do a better job for the humans involved and for the pets involved, and that is our mandate. So that if that's what we did. How's it innovative? Well, there's a couple of ways we talked about. One of them is we have a new partnership. I think that we formed these tighter bonds. We actually even worked with a community college, Polytech, and then we've kind of used technology, a blend of technology and information campaign together to try to move people to a new solution to make them better pet owners. Here's the Sprint to Innovate 2026 judging rubric for the business impact side, which is 50% of scored, solution alignment, how well does the solution respond to the problem, feasibility, how realistic is the solution given the technology resources of challenge rep, impact, how would the solution make a meaningful difference or drive value to the challenge reps organization, and how well communicated and convincing is the pitch. For innovation and design thinking, as the innovation judge, you'll see originality, how fresh, creative, surprising the solution, what approaches were used to gather feedback from users and other parties who was consulted, and then what evidence was provided of iteration based on testing of the solution, and how well communicated and convincing is the pitch. And that is it. Oh yeah, one final thing is that here's your 48 hours general guideline. We've showed everybody this before, but just to go over it one more time. Friday night, you're trying to make sure that you empathize and define, and then reframe that clear problem statement. Do your research quickly. And then Saturday morning, you're going to be ideating and spending some time talking to your challenge rep. And then select that starting idea. If you can actually start prototyping on Saturday, that's really your head. And then Saturday, you're going to prototype. You're going to, create that prototype, refine, create, refine. And then you're going to split into the two groups, one working the prototype, one working the pitch, by the way. And then the pitch one, your goal would be to have a decent pitch by the end of Saturday so that on Sunday, you're really just tuning the pitch versus starting the pitch. You want to actually have it started on Saturday. Okay? And that is it. Oh, and one more thing. This is John Robbins' AI design thinking video series, a link to it. So if you want to come and take grab the link or grab the QR code, you can do that. I'll leave it up here. And that's it. Thank you very much.